Hi, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to Alex Naranjo. Alex is a senior at the University of Washington, Bothell. He's majoring in computer science, and he has been selected to participate in our corporate-sponsored cooperative education cybersecurity internship. So Alex, could you please tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Hi there, my name is Alex Naranjo. I'm currently the senior at UW Bothell, studying computer science, just like Morgan said. Prior to joining the University of Washington Bothell, I was a medic in the Army and did that for 4 years. I did one tour in Afghanistan. What made me choose the computer science background was I knew I wanted to kind of deviate from my health and medical studies, just due to my experience over there. I loved it, but I knew that I wanted to take a different direction as I was getting older and things like that. So I decided to study computer science, and I really loved it. And I thought, why not take some of my military background and defense and offensive maneuvers and kind of translate that into more of a computer science field. So cybersecurity fit great, and when this opportunity arose, I jumped on it.
So, Alex, we had an opportunity to work on this the profile, the career assessment that we did. Mm-hmm. And we had an opportunity to learn, well, I had an opportunity to learn quite a bit about you, and you had some reactions to the feedback report that you received. Could you share what you felt about some of that?
Yeah, totally. I was honestly really surprised about how accurate this test was. Like, I'd never taken anything like this before, and it was really, really accurate, and it really just kind of blew me away about like how correctly it was getting all of kind of like the way that I see myself and how I interact with people and what my strengths and weaknesses are.
Well, and an assessment like this, and when I tell people when you're taking a career assessment, it's an assessment, not a test. You cannot fail. And there is no such thing as a good or bad assessment, because the key thing is to help you find a good fit. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I learned about you, because you had been a medic, and being in a war zone and being a medic can cause, can help you develop some baggage, let's just say it this way. But at the same time, you have a strong, very strong desire for a career interest to be in public service. You really want to contribute to systems. You're very interested in the sciences and technology. The other thing that's very important is that you like to manage. Could you talk about how you foresee being able to transfer some of these career interests into a field like cybersecurity?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess first and foremost, coming from a military unit, you really develop close bonds with your colleagues, your coworkers, your soldiers around you. And as you go through your military career, in my case, I started off as a private first class and I moved to a corporal, which is a non-commissioned officer position. So towards the end of my career in the military, I was actually in charge of the other medics within my company. So that's kind of where I started to develop my managerial skills and like kind of like my want to like have that be a part of my career. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like I want to take the kind of brotherhood, the teamwork, the cohesion that you learn by being in such a tight-knit group, being in such a tight-knit unit, and like take some of those like really positives that you get from being in that environment and taking that into the corporate world. And I think that cybersecurity doesn't only just fit well for me due to my background in my current studies. Mm-hmm. I think that there's going to be a lot of translation, like we're going to be working together on relatively large problems, high stress situations where if we're being like attacked, we need to be close, we need to be able to trust each other and make sure that everyone's doing their job right. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I can be that guy that they can rely on no matter what. Like even if it comes down to like on the weekend they need a ride, like I'm gonna be there for them, like that's the kind of like things that I want to develop with potentially my team in the future. because that's how it was for me when I was in the service.
So one of the things I want to share with you is that many of our corporate partners, and I've been working with Dr. Endicott for about 10 years, and I met her when I was an employment transition coach helping people from Afghanistan and Iraq and the reserve component return to a recession economy. And what I learned is that the corporate market around here was very interested in the military because they had a dedication to mission and the ability to do teamwork. The idea that cybersecurity is an interdisciplinary team sport. So a lot of what you did in the military is going to be very significant. And I want to thank you very much for coming in and showing our people in our audience that sometimes when you're not quite that traditional high school student coming right out of a secondary situation, but when you've had life experiences, especially in the military, that cybersecurity is a superb pathway for you to pursue.
Yeah, I'm real excited about it, and I'm really looking forward to learning a lot about it and seeing if it's the best fit for me. I think it will be, and I'm excited to see what kind of niche I get to fall into in the cybersecurity field. Because like you said, it is interdisciplinary, and I have kind of a wide range of skills, but figuring out which one's the right one for me is going to be a fun experience.
And I think we'll talk about that at a future time, you and I together, because you are outgoing, and the idea that you're outgoing, you can manage, that you multitask, that you have that ability to relate and communicate is very important in this field. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.